It's the season finale for the 9th grade year. It's also time for the annual prank war with Valley High School.
Now I intend to go down in history as Prankster Prince.
Prankster Prince? But it wasn't even you who pranked the unprankable Miss Bliss. It was your little buddy Screech. So maybe let's let him take the lead.
Let's flush all their toilets at once!
I mean this in every way possible. Screech may have already peaked. And there, Valley struck first and got her nerds. This is war! Our boy Edgar proves to be super weak, as he and his buddy are helpless against two-ply. But what's up with this story?
We were at miniature golf practice when a couple of Valley guys jumped out from behind the windmill and rolled us.
You were in what?
Miniature golf practice.
You're in major golf practice and Valley did what?
Jumped out from behind the windmill.
Is major golf just nerd speak for mini golfing? Nerd! Well, with the nerds freed, listen for the reception Kelly gets from the audience.
What are you guys worried about? You've won the last 3 years.
Did you catch it?
You've won the last...
It's kind of like when Slater got some love in the election.
Hey, Slater!
I think it's cool how the audience connects with the show as viewers get more exposure to the characters as the seasons progress. The other plot point for this episode is that it is the cheerleader finals, and the team needs a substitute cheerleader badly. Slater suggests Jessie.
Me? A cheerleader? I'm class president, not some silly schoolgirl.
You're just class president-elect at this point. And you might want to check that ego, as you've already cheered at a wrestling match. The girls agree to hold an emergency tryout, and the boys see that they need to step their game up. After 27 girls, we're down to the last tryout with Rhonda Robelli!
Give me a B, give me an A, give me a hint.
Why?
Because I can't remember.
Now, if you don't like Rhonda, first off, shut up. And secondly, you're wrong. Aside from Screech, we don't really have a fun, over-the-top character to routinely pit against our level-headed cast. What would it look like if she got in with the girls for an episode? What if she'd have gone out with Zach in a later season, like instead of Tori? The character is Spunk, and the actress is clearly good-looking. I mean, she's no Sarah Carter, but then again, who is? Despite beefing the basic Bayside cheer, Rhonda begs to do the battle cheer. And with that intensity, let's put Lisa and Kelly on the outside. Rhonda little kicks her way out of our lives, and Jessie finally agrees to be a cheerleader. Again. It is at this point that our boys enter and declare themselves as the greatest pranksters to ever live. Why? Because they took Valley's, only school banner? Oh, and they somehow flooded the choir room with helium so that the Valley Glee Club would sound like this.
Fellas?
What? Is the helium going to make Valley biff the starts of songs too? Yeah, I blame Slater for holding that long. Oh. Honestly, this just sounds like a chorus made up of our boy Edgar.
When a couple of Valley guys jumped out from behind the windmill and rolled us.
Thoughts, Jessie?
I just do not approve of that kind of behavior.
Well, then send me to my room, Mama.
Yeah!
Hiking club? Hard no.
We're back.
Yeah, it seems celebrations were a bit premature. Mr. Belding shows up and bemoans the start of another prank war. Screech tries to cover it up.
Happy birthday from Valley.
Can we have Screech redo that line?
Happy birthday from Valley.
It just seems like he forgot the name of the rival school even though it's posted all over the hall. Mr. Belding plans to visit Valley's principal the next day and orders the boys not to engage in any more shenanigans. Then this happens.
Yeah, it's the same gag we saw in Good Morning Miss Bliss.
How did Valley get in the lockers to set this up? And how did Valley know which lockers to target? It's the next day. Valley's principal, Elliot Stingwell, berates cousins Dan and Stan Clegg for their amateurish pranks against Bayside. Then he shows them how it's done. Mr. Belding shows up and...
How you doing? Huh? Oh, okay. Sit right here. Sit right here.
I think I'll sit over here.
Holy farts, I think I hate this guy.
My, Richard, noisy panties.
Noisy panties? Is this guy awesome?
What are you wearing? Two to the looms?
Nope, he sucks. It turns out that Mad Dog Belding and Stinky Stingwell go way back. They even have the same office blueprint. But despite their storied prank-filled history, they agree to end the prank war. Get me out of here. What? This isn't any better. In the Max, the boys are appropriately dressed to covertly sneak into a suburban high school. And Screech only mildly skirts getting Mickey Rooney levels of misappropriation hate by referencing a then-current pop culture brand.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Screech.
Woohoo! The ladies freaking love Screech. But the caricature isn't the only appropriation in this scene.
Oh, Wrigley's son.
Oh, Screechy son.
In Japan, I thought San went after the surname. Shut up, Dustin Diamond Son! While infiltrating Valley for a prank, the boys agree to spy on the rival cheerleaders. Over at Kelly's house, Jesse tries to sabotage Bayside's chances of winning with these skirts and this new cheer.
We are the ladies of Bayside, the best school around. Winning's not important because our minds are sound. Rah!
Couple of thoughts here. Did Jesse just happen to have uber-modest skirts lying around in Bayside's colors? Where did these come from?
We couldn't win if we did this cheer in our underwear.
Yeah, maybe you couldn't. Fortunately, Jesse has another cheer that rocks, but might be a bit dangerous for the mascot.
But Screech is the mascot.
I love it.
We all do. It's the next day. Jessie has sold out her morals, and the cheer squad is finishing up practice. Slater and Zach show up, boasting about dognapping Valley's mascot. The cheerleaders line up for a picture with the mascot when Mr. Belding shows up. They cleverly hide the dog, and then trick Mr. Belding into being in the picture, which they send to Valley as a fun little middle finger. And oh good, Zach avoided showing the top of the set in the picture, which can't be said for the camera operator. What is Slater doing in the picture?
They've got our mascot hidden somewhere here at Bayside.
Let's search every inch of the school until we find him.
And you know Stan Clegg takes this sentiment seriously because he first looks above the lockers. And that's when Screech shows up and does what his character does best by blabbing the whole plan and his integral part of it, which doesn't really work out well for him. Word gets back that Screech has been kidnapped, and Jesse is bummed about their cheer, while Zach is bummed about losing the prank war. In fact, Zach envisions himself as losing to the Clegg cousins for the award Prankster of the Century. Never mind that Zach is standing in the second place position. Principal Stingwell delivers a great line here.
And now, coming in dead last for the worst prank of the year. What was your name, son?
Zach Morris.
Jack Norris from Bayside.
But then he's reduced to hijinks and his maniacal laughter. It's a pretty lame dream sequence, but we'll cut Zach some slack. He's just barely old enough now to date Carla Gugino. So, does anyone feel bad that Screech is gone? Anyone?
This is terrible. Poor Screech.
Oh yes, the girl that practically fell in love with him a few episodes ago. The gang decides to come clean to Belding, who calls old Stinky, who agrees to a mascot exchange. But Dan and Stan Clegg decide that it's just the costume going back to Bayside. And this transition is excellent, going from the weepy Screech to the happy bulldog. Stan Clegg shows up and Jesse rushes off to the competition. But wait a minute, hold the phone. Screech was just in the costume, but now Screech is here? But if Screech is here, who's about to cheer with Bayside?
Welcome to the Citywide Cheerleading Finals!
Citywide? So Bayside and Valley are in the same city? Which means that Valley would have been present at the County Wrestling Championship, which means that Slater would have beaten Marvin Nedick to get that trophy, making the storyline about Nedick being undefeated as nonsensical? Maybe Nedick was sick or didn't make weight. Maybe I'm thinking about this way more than I should? Well, Valley performs their cheer, but one has to wonder if a little more support would have boosted their spirits. What do I mean? Well, who cheers the cheerleaders? Stan! Just Stan! And you know it's a Valley cheer, as it ends like this.
We're gonna teach you that Valley rules! Valley rules! Valley rules!
When I first rewatched this, I thought the principals were judges as they are sitting at the judges' table. Nope! Just two entitled jerks making the real judges stand. But what to do about Dan Clegg? Well, remember how Screech once provided ants to Zach to best a rival?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Next on the floor, the cheerleaders from Bayside.
Boom! Rhonda's wearing the same clothes she tried out in. Her school apparel is sorely limited.
Ready, and T-I-G-E-R-S, 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 T-I-G-E-R-S.
Jesse's cheer is pretty freaking good, and Dan Clegg reacts how anyone would with a colony of ants in their pants by slaying.
This year's winner of the coveted golden megaphone is the Bayside Class!
Yay!
Screech, you were terrific! I can't believe I actually want to give you a kiss!
Planet here, babe.
Wait a second, Screech, if you're here, then who's in there?
Did everyone just accept that Screech was busting those moves? Because it seems like they thought that.
Why, I gotta.
Ronnie Shell played Valley's principal, Elliot Stinky Stingwell. Ronnie got his start as a comedian before moving into television, where he starred as Duke in Gomer Pyle, USMC. He continued to have guest spots in shows like The Dukes of Hazzard, Charlie's Angels, Sledgehammer, and Phil of the Future. He also lent his voice to many cartoons, including Recess, The Smurfs, and Pound Puppies. Throw in some movies and commercials, and you have a well-rounded career in entertainment. He was even the honorary mayor of Encino, California, with John Goodman as the Attorney General and Phil Hartman as the Sheriff. And that's a wrap for this season. What a trip! Stay tuned for another special where we cover running themes and stuff I just plain missed in the individual episodes.
My, Richard, noisy panties.